So momentum in your business is kind of like insurance. And what I mean by that is when you have momentum, it buries all of your mistakes. It's kind of like Grant Cardone's philosophy of 10x. You know, if you just work 10 times harder, do 10 times much, go 10 times faster, all of your mistakes kind of get buried and covered up. And so, you know, when you have momentum, everybody looks better than they are when they have momentum, and everything is easier to do when you have momentum. And so everybody wants momentum in their business, and it's such a sexy word. And if you really dissect it, okay, there's 3 stages to momentum. And the first stage is you've got to create momentum, and you create momentum with enthusiasm. It's basically you saying yes to every single meeting, every single training. It's very difficult. Creating momentum is the most challenging, self-reevaluating, suicide contemplating, difficult part of the business. And that's where most people fail, is they could never develop the momentum. And so here's what's really tough. You've got to say yes to every meeting, yes to every training. You're at home, you're watching a movie, your pizza just showed up, it's nice and warm. You're sitting there with your girlfriend or boyfriend, and you know, you pick up a slice of pizza, and your hands are all greasy, and all of a sudden, you know, your phone rings, or you get a text message, and it's one of your leaders, or it's a prospect, and you've got to, you know, pause the movie, put the pizza down, because here's the thing. If you finish your pizza, and then you call that person back, guess what? Now they're eating pizza. And so you've got to be available 24/7 in the beginning. And here's what's really frustrating about that. You're working so hard and you're not making any money. And that's what blows most people out of the water, because in the beginning, it's all work and no pay. And you're saying yes to every meeting, and you're saying yes to every training, and you have no personal time for yourself. And it feels like, my God, there's no way I can continue at this pace. And you can't. But here's the good news is you don't have to. Creating momentum is a temporary stage, and it blows most people out of the water because they think to themselves, this is the life of network marketing. I can't possibly live this way. You don't have to. You just have to work hard enough, fast enough, long enough to develop momentum. And people have different definitions of momentum. You know, for me, when I moved to South Africa and I didn't know a single person, my goal was just to get to 1 person a day signing up. And to me, that's the tipping point for momentum in your business. As soon as you have 1 person a day signing up, that's when it's like, okay, finally I've got enough people to where if 1 person quits, you know, it's not devastational. You know what it's like when you've got 2 people on your team and 1 person quits, and it's like, I just lost half my company. Everything is devastational, okay? So creating momentum is done with enthusiasm. It's a lot of energy, a lot of excitement, and it's doing, you know, 10, 15 meetings a day. I remember, again, in South Africa, I had met a girl who lived in Strand Beach, and I was in Cape Town, and I believe it's about like an hour-and-a-half drive. And she's like, yeah, you know, I want to learn more about the business. And so I drove an hour-and-a-half for 1 person, and that's the kind of stuff you do. In that creating momentum stage, you drive as far as it takes. You do as many, basically, it's whatever it takes, okay? And so that's creating momentum. Stage 2 is you've got to be able to sustain momentum, okay? Now, a lot of people try to start in stage 2, and it's like trying to start your car in 2nd gear. Stage 2 is instead of you going to everybody all the time, now you've got enough people signing up to where it's impossible. You're going to redline it. You're going to burn out the engine. Now you make everybody come to you. So sustaining momentum is all about creating a schedule. And that's really all it is. It's stage 2 is now you're making people come to you. And this is the first point in your career where you actually start making money and feeling important. Because in that stage 1, you know, in 1st gear, creating momentum, you're not making any money and you feel like a traveling salesperson going door to door. You just feel so insignificant and you're not making any money. So again, that's the hardest part. Once you get into 2nd gear, sustaining momentum, people are coming to you, people are signing up, people are edifying you, you're starting to feel important. This is really the turning point in your career where you feel like, God, this is actually finally worth it. So sustaining momentum is having a schedule. And again, I see people do this all the time where they get into the business and they try to start the car in 2nd gear. They forget about 1st gear, creating momentum, and they start with a hotel meeting. and they set up the room for like 100 people or 50 people, and oh God, I've done this so many times, earlier in my career. And you pay for the hotel room, it's $500, and I bought a projector and all this kind of stuff, and like 3 people showed up. And not only is that not productive, it's actually counterproductive, because it kills the energy in the room when you've got 47 empty seats and 3 people are sitting there going, yeah, this is gonna work. And it's so embarrassing. So don't try to start the car in second gear. First gear is coffee shop meetings and small home meetings. Second gear, when you're sustaining momentum, is now you're doing hotel meetings and people are coming to you, okay? That's second gear. So you create momentum with enthusiasm and work ethic. You sustain momentum with an organized system, which is really just a fancy way of saying a schedule where people are now coming to you. And then stage 3 is advancing momentum. So you create momentum, you sustain momentum, and then you advance momentum. And you advance momentum through training and duplication. Because here's the truth, okay? In every network marketing company that I've ever been in, where I made an annual income on a monthly basis, I never built a big team. I built a small team, and then that small team duplicated. If you try to build an empire, you're gonna get overwhelmed and you're gonna fall on your ass. What you really need to do is you build a small team and then you duplicate it. You teach to teach to teach, right? Momentum and duplication, probably 2 of the sexiest words in our industry, and that's what it's all about. So, third gear, advancing momentum, is just about duplication. So don't worry, you don't have to build. My biggest team ever was 67,000 people. We were signing up 5,000 people every 30 days. I was making over 100 grand a month, and it was absolutely amazing. And I think back, I didn't build a team of 67,000 people. I probably built a team of maybe 600 people. And then I trained and duplicated and got some leaders to do the same thing in their city. And eventually, I was traveling all over America. This company was only in America. And I was meeting all these people that I'd never met that were making 10, 20, 30 grand a month. And I hadn't even met them before. So once you get this system perfected, it's absolutely incredible. And so I think sometimes success is too much of a mystery. And here's the thing, success leaves clues. And here's what I did that I think most people didn't do. I went to every seminar. I read every book. I listened to Les Brown for motivation. I listened to Jim Rohn for philosophy. I listened to Tony Robbins, about incantations and physiology. And I listened to Stephen Covey about the 7 habits of highly effective people. I was a freaking nerd. Other people were like, oh, have you heard Tupac's latest whatever? That's what was cool, when I was 21 or 19. And I was like, no. And then I remember when DJs became the thing, and everybody's like, DJs are the new rock star. Have you heard about DJ Nightmare or DJ Mickey Mouse? And I'm like, no, have you ever heard of Jim Rohn? And people were like, no, who's that? And I was like, what? You never heard of Jim Rohn? So I was different. But I think different is what we need. I dissected success, and I dove into it, and I nerded out, and it's not as difficult as you think. It's like a magic trick. It just seems amazing until you know how to do it, and once you know how to do it, all it comes down to is your dedication, your commitment, your work ethic, and your attitude. So it's either your effort or your skill. It always comes down to one of those 2 things. So you've either got to work on your effort or it's your skill. So pretty simple stuff. Anyway, if you guys have any questions, leave it in the comments below. The 3 stages to momentum. And just remember, that first stage, that's a tough one. Working super hard, saying yes to every meeting and training, not making any money, nobody's edifying you. It's tough. And again, that's the stage that blows most people out of the water. So if you can work your ass off and you've got somebody good to edify and promote that'll run with you and help you do meetings, you can get past first gear and you can get into second gear, and that's where everything starts getting fun. So love you guys. Go ahead, leave a comment. Let me know where you're from. Omar, what's up, man? Long time no talk. And I'll talk to you guys soon.